Hey everyone, alright, this review is going to be on these Dunlop strings that I bought. They are 11 strings, .011, made by Dunlop. They're 80/20 bronze for acoustic guitar. And before I do my review, what I want to do is say the 4 strings that I've used recently. I've done reviews on all of them, but I just want to make this a detailed review of what I like and what I don't like. I've been trying many guitar strings over the years, and what I just had about the last 6 months was this. These are Ernie Ball strings that I just did a review on. I did a review on these and the Martin Acoustic you can find on my channel. And these are really nice strings. They are very easy to play, very easy on the fingers. They're kind of like, it almost feels like you're playing a classical string, a nylon string. Very easy to play, a beautiful sound, and they're good strings. There's no doubt about them. You might like them. I think everybody should try these and the silk and steel strings and see if they like the sound and the feel. The sound is beautiful, and the feel is really nice. These are extremely easy to play, easy on the fingers, and one of my favorite strings. The only problem with these is they don't have a lot of output. It depends on what you like. If you like quiet output, not really loud, then these are excellent strings. And the only bad thing I can say about them is they really don't have a lot of power to them, which is okay. And the next string that I put on after that I just did a review, not a good review either, is these Martin strings. These are the first Martin strings I have ever used, and they sounded terrible. I went online, I looked at a lot of reviews, and people aren't really happy with these strings. The people that are happy with these Martin strings all say they're great strings, but they only last a couple weeks and then they burn out. The problem I had with these is when I put them on my guitar, it sounded like a $2 piece of tin. It was so annoying. It was so bad that after 3 or 4 days, I just took them off. I wasn't even going to try to wear them in or wear them out. I will never buy Martin strings again. These were a nightmare and a humongous mistake. Now, I'm going to do my review, like I said, on the Dunlop strings. Again, Martin, never, ever, ever again. My favorite string, and most of my reviews have been on the Diodario, however you say it. This is my favorite string, the EJ13. These are number 11 strings also. I'd rather be able to play the number 12, which is an incredible sound, but to me it loses a lot of highs. It's very deep and bassy, and not only does it lose a lot of highs, but I don't have the finger strength. I have tried over and over again. I just don't have the finger strength. I can't get a good bar when I use the number 12 strings from anybody. So as far as number 11, 80/20 bronze, I love these. EJ13's, to me, the best string out there. Incredible for finger picking, beautiful for strumming, and I'm going to show you in a minute. To me, it all has to do with the number 6 string, the thickest string. So EJ13's, Diodario, best string ever for me. And now my review is going to be on these Dunlops. I have never bought Dunlops before, and I know I'm going to shut up in a minute and I'm going to play, but the whole idea is to hear my opinion, not to hear me play, to hear my thoughts. My thoughts are, the Dunlop string, I put this on, and I could not believe it. Not only did I take off the Martin Acoustic, which was a nightmare, but then I put on these Dunlops, just not only an amazing sound, an amazing feel. When I do the pentatonic, and a lot of times, because I'm not that great of a player, when I do the pentatonic, I don't have the strength in this finger, in the baby finger, and so a lot of times I'll get a really bad buzzing sound like this. These strings, these are number 11 strings. They feel like they're super slinky 8s or something. They require look at this. I'm barely pressing on the string. They require next to no strength or effort to get a clean sound, which just shocks me. Now if I did that, even with the Diodario, if I did that with my Diodarios, which are my favorite, I'd probably get a little buzzing over here because I don't have really good strength and I have to hold down harder. With these strings, that's not the case. So what I will say about the Dunlop strings is they're my second favorite strings right now. These are awesome. Finger picking. I love them. I absolutely love them. They are so easy to play. If you have problems strumming a guitar, getting a good bar, I mean, it freaks me out that I'm able to do such a clean bar and there is next to no pressure on my fingers and I'm getting a clean F. Not an easy chord to do. You can see, I think you can see, I'm barely putting pressure on this thing. So, as far as the Dunlop strings, next to no pressure required. Sound is really nice, very easy to play, incredible digging underneath to do a finger pick. You really have a nice string to hold on to that you don't have with, you don't have that so much with the Martin. I hate it. Well, I've said that over and over. The Martin garbage. Okay, so Dunlop strings. Now you can hear right over here. You can hear the brassy. All of Martin's strings were brassy. You can hear it in. I'm pulling on the 6th string now and the 5th. You hear that brassy sound? That's the only thing I don't like about these strings. And it comes. I'm using the pad on my thumb. So it sounds really nice, but the minute I start to, like if I use a pick, let me do a G chord. If I use a pick, a little brassy, a little tinny. Which to me gives it a cheaper sound, which was the case with all 6 of the strings on the Martins. Martin SPs. So I would say if you have a very hard time finding a string that is easy to play, that is an 80-20 bronze or even a phosphor bronze, I would go with these Dunlops. I'm going to buy these again. I don't know if they're going to be my favorite string. I don't know how much I'm going to use them. But these are just awesome. Especially if you need to learn, if you want to build up the strength in your fingers, or if you want to be able to do some bar chords, or playing scales that you really can't do well because you just don't have the strength and it's hard for you to... Then I would go with these strings. And my favorite string, which I'm going to put on right now, it's going to be a different guitar, so obviously you're going to have a different sound, but I want you to hear it anyway. All right, this is an Epiphone that my finance girl gave me, and it's a full-size guitar, very difficult for me to play. It is completely out of adjustment still. And I'm using on this my favorite string ever, the Diodario EJ13 80-20 bronze .011 strings. So I just want you to hear the difference now. You probably won't be able to because these reviews are hard to do to give people a good opinion. It's mainly your ear, my ear, the internet, the audio. But listen to the 6th string now. You hear the difference? You don't hear that? You hear that? That's full bass. That's full. There's no ringing like that other guitar. I'm gonna get that guitar now just so you can hear it again. Okay, here we go. There you hear it. That's the 6th and the 5th. It's got a brassy tinny, and of course you're going to get that with 80-20. But you hear it like, and now let me get the other guitar again. All right, here's the Epiphone, and I know you're going to say, well, it's a full-size guitar and the others aren't, and that's why I get more bass. But that's not what I'm going for. I'm talking about, there's none of that boingy sound like a spring, like a cheap metal piece of tin foil thing. And that's the 6th and the 5th. Now, let me see, I'll try to do some bars. I'm not going to use a lot of pressure. Maybe you'll be able to see what I was talking about. That is what I'm talking about. There we go. And I agree, I've got to say, this guitar is not adjusted well, so it's very difficult to play. But I'm barely putting pressure on this thing, on any of the strings, and I can't get a good F bar. Let me put a lot of pressure on. And a lot of this has to do with the guitar is just not adjusted properly. But it also has to do with the EJ13 strings. They require a little bit more pressure than these Dunlops. So the Dunlop could become one of my favorite strings. It is my second favorite string right now, mostly because it's got a very good sound and it's so easy to play. The only thing I don't like about it, and the reason that I like the EJ13s that I've been using forever, is because, listen, there's no it's all a clean, rich, bassy sound with some bright tones to it, but it doesn't ring like a cheap piece of tin foil. So, and again, this is on a guitar that is way, way out of adjustment and very difficult to play. But it still has a beautiful sound without sounding cheap. And yeah, I even had somebody play that's a very good player, and they had a very hard time playing this, even in the first fret, which is adjusted really low. It is... So, right now, to finish off the review, Diodario's best string in the world, mainly because of the sound. Ease of playing, best string out there to me is the Dunlop. Doesn't have as good a sound as these. Extremely nice to play and a lot of fun to play because it's so easy. And I would say in between both of those, if you just don't want to hassle with things, I would go with the steel and silk and steel strings. They're a joy to play. They sound really good. They're a lot of fun. They do require some pressure, but not that much. These don't require a lot of pressure. These require more pressure. These require even more pressure. These sound the best. These sound incredibly good except for the tinny sound on the 5 and the 6 string, but it's still a very beautiful string that I like. These are overall extremely good, and as far as I'm concerned, I will never ever buy these again, but that's my opinion, and you might not agree with it. So hopefully this has helped everybody out. Make sure you listen to my other videos, my other reviews on guitar, and the other cool stuff I have up. Do a thumbs up, a subscribe, a like, or whatever they do here. Go to my main channel page, click on support this channel, help me out if you can. Nobody has, so you could be the first to change my whole world. And hopefully you got something out of this. All right, keep playing and have a lot of fun. That's the important thing.